Welcome to the Wild Grace podcast, where authenticity isn't a choice, it is your calling. Real, raw, untamed. This is your initiation into the wild. Hello and welcome to the Wild Grace podcast. I am your host, Mallika. And I'm so excited for today. I was like, I need to calm down. I'm like actually really excited. I spent 4 days on a boat just pining about, oh my God, I need to record this podcast. So I'm here today with Yani Foord, very special guest. She's a women's empowerment coach. She assists women in connecting to their feminine essence to live a life of vitality and radiance. And this woman has got so many modalities under her belt. I swear every time I'm talking to her, she's doing another course or another modality. She's got every certificate I know under the sun. Her unique modalities include womb massage, yoni steaming, rage release, which she's helped me a lot with, by the way, and subconscious reprogramming. Now, she uses all these tools to reconnect women with their unique soul expression so they can live a life of true freedom and actually find happiness, which we all want, right? And she's helped her clients get off drugs. She's helped them heal endometriosis, along with a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm really excited to have you on today, Yani. Welcome.
Yay, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
This is so fun, so exciting. Thank you.
It is. It really is. Okay, what's alive for us is Yani is currently spending maybe 3 months away from her partner that she's been with for 8 years. And we want to talk about the importance of being alone, even if you're partnered. Something that I am still really understanding, being in my partnership now for almost 3 years. So, Yani, would you like to just start off by just telling us a bit about how you and your partner came together and the 8-year journey?
Yeah, of course. So, yeah, my beloved Sam, we met when we weren't conscious at all. So we met on the dance floor, partying, dancing, and were on that journey for quite some time. And it was actually Sam that initiated our spiritual journey because he went through a stage of depression where he built a successful business and then the recession hit, so he lost all this money, he lost all his clients, and, he asked me how I was happy all the time. And I got questioning, am I happy? Do I look happy on the outside, but am I truly happy on the inside? Am I wearing this front? And I was. And the truth is I was a 7 out of 10 happy, and I find this is a dangerous place to be. I had good friends, I had a good job, I had a partner, and I literally just thought that's what life was about. I was living, I was existing, actually. I wasn't really living because I didn't feel my passion. I didn't feel creativity. I didn't feel that life force energy, and I didn't know what I was missing out on. And so it was with that question that Sam sparked something from within me, and I sparked something from within him because he could see happiness that wasn't within himself. And that's when we went on a journey. He went on a weekend course, and then we went on healing modalities, and we sparked this journey together and also apart, having different teachers. And so it wasn't until about 4 years into our journey where we just got back from Canada, moved back to Perth, and I remember the time when Sam wanted to sleep on the couch, and it brought up all these woundings because in my mind I was like, if a partner wants to sleep separate, then our relationship is going down the drain. Why doesn't he want to spend time with me? Why doesn't he want to cuddle me? All these stories, and I'm like, are you coming to bed? I'm in bed, it's time to come to bed now, instead of allowing freedom. And so that was a really big pivotal point in our journey of working through the codependency that was already within the relationship, and valuing each other's space and time. That's when it first started.
I think a lot of people would actually resonate for starters, because a lot of people get caught up in the 9 to 5, the white picket fence, just being together, existing, because we're told that is life. That is what life is.
Yeah.
It's like get a job, get a house, find a partner, sleep together.
Yeah.
And like sleeping together every single night with your partner. I know for me personally, like sometimes I want to stay up. I'm not ready to go to bed and vice versa. And by not allowing your inner flow and being rigid within someone else's boundaries or flow, you're not living your own flow. And therefore you can't be creative because there's a certain suppression happening.
Literally. Because it's like you're treading on eggshells. You have to be quiet instead of like fully expressing yourself. So you're shutting down parts of yourself. And this all comes when you're sharing space. So like we grew up together. We had our own rooms, right? We had our own rooms. We could paint the colors of the walls. We decorated it to the way that we wanted it to be. And then all of a sudden...
Oh, Yani and I are sisters. Just so they know, like we that's why we grew up together.
And then all of a sudden you get in a partnership and all of a sudden you have to share everything. Share your own personal space, your own room, your bed, and it's a shift. And society says that this is how it's supposed to be. And actually, it's going on the journey of finding out what works for you and what works for your unique relationship, because we are all different and it's making your own rules. And we need to try things to know what works and what doesn't work. And so through that becoming of desiring more space, and we find out what works for us. And so when we moved to Bali, we lived in separate rooms, right? We had our own space for working, for sleeping, for creation, and the opportunity to sleep in the same bed if we want to, or come in for morning cuddles when we want to, because we do have different morning rituals. We do have different evening rituals, and I sleep solid. And sometimes we might start to go to sleep in the same bed, and Sam might fidget. He'll be in a fidgety mood, and I'll be like, all right, you can go to your room now. And vice versa. He'll be like, oh, I've got lots of energy, I'm going to create. And so he'll go do that, and not having any obligation or guilt that may be put on some partnerships from that neediness or codependency because they're not being met by their own love for self.
I literally remember in my 5-year relationship where I ended in marriage, and I would lie in bed awake, just like he would be fidgeting, and I would have such resentment. Like I've got poems that I've written about his heavy breath and his squiggly legs that just never stop. And I was like, get me the fuck out of here. Like literally. And it didn't even like appear in my mind that there was another option of just like, I did actually start sleeping in the attic when he was partying and I wanted to go to bed. I was a personal trainer, I had to get up at 4:30 a.m. But yeah, if only it was more common or more understood that space doesn't mean that the relationship is falling apart. It actually means you're so attuned to what the relationship needs. Spaciousness brings you back together.
Yeah. And it's also sleep hygiene, so like sleep is so important for our health, for our vitality, and to get broken sleep or to be waken up during your sleep and it actually stuffs up your sleep cycles. Also, I know I astral travel a lot when I'm in my dream state, and, depending on your human design, actually, me and Sam got a relationship human design, and we're actually not meant to sleep with each other as well. Because
you're a projector, he's a mani gen.
Yes.
So you don't have a defined sacral and he does. So when you sleep with him, he's literally just like taking energy. Yeah. Which is mad, right? It's like, I'm a manifestor. I don't have a defined sacral, but my daughter is a generator. She does. And so I try to tell her, I'm like, I actually haven't slept with my daughter since she was about 4 weeks old. And like, people think that's crazy, but I must have intuitively known from that early on that when we slept together, I would just be fucking exhausted. so exhausted.
Yeah.
And how were your energy levels when you guys slept together?
To be honest, I wasn't even conscious of what was going on. I was so needy in the relationship to a point where I just wanted it to fit into society norms, I guess. I wanted to go to bed together. Yeah, so I wasn't even aware of my patterns.
Yeah.
But I loved waking up and going on my morning walk by myself, you know, because I'd get up before Sam. He's a night owl usually, and I'm a morning person. So again, that's just different dynamics. So yeah, I just wanted everything the way that I wanted it, I suppose. And if I didn't get my way, my traits are stubborn behaviors. So it was literally just a conversation, a truthful conversation that we needed to have to see what works and what didn't work and meet ourselves. Like for me, it was not taking things personally. It was listening to the desires of what Sam needed for his creation space, you know. Like I said, a lot of his downloads are in the nighttime and he will take action straight away. And yeah, so I like now for my evening rituals, I'll read. And also I like silence. Like if I'm in company, sometimes I just want to be in company in silence and just feel their energy. Whereas with Sam, he has a lot of ideas always coming through. And he's so excited. He wants to share things with me all the time. And so sometimes I'll be like, he can see on my face, like, as well, he'll be like, is it okay to bounce this off you right now? Because I'm like kind of like checking out. And sometimes I'll say yes, and then other times I'll be like, no, I'm not available for this conversation right now. This is my chill time. And that's when he'll have to find it elsewhere. Because in a relationship, especially we've been traveling for 2 years, we were everybody's everything because we didn't have any friends. Like we did have friends coming and going, but we didn't have a close network. We were business partners at a stage. We worked from home. Like it was just so much that it's important. It's so important to have different people for different things. Your relationship can't be your everybody. And if it does, like during that time, if it does wane on that, you start to get that agitation again. You start to resent each other. And it's like, I can't be this for you. And I know that it might be lonely if you don't have the friend that you need right now. But also it's not fair on me if you expect that from me either.
Esther Perel talks a lot about this. It's like what we try to get from one partner, we used to get from a whole community. And we're not living in community anymore. And so we partner up, we move in together, and then we expect a best friend, a partner, a lover, a carer, like we expect our partner to wear all the hats, and it's actually not sustainable. Like it's not sustainable, and like divorce rates are going up. Also, lots of people are trying alternative dynamics for their relationship, and I think we're finally waking up to what can be sustainable.
Yeah, I remember I did a post when I moved to Bali that stated that me and Sam are living in separate beds, and it just went off the chain. I think there was like 100 or so comments of people like resonating, and also thank you for the permission slip. Thank you for dissolving the guilt that I had for wanting to sleep in a separate bed. And then someone else said that there's a book called Don't Get a Divorce, Get a Sleep Divorce. There's actually a book about it. Yeah, that actually says that you should sleep in separate beds. And so it just needs to be spoken more about it, because more and more people are desiring it, but out of fear, not taking action or questioning what it means if you want space, like because you love your partner so much. But it's okay to want space, need space. It's needed. Space is a love language. It really is.
Yeah. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. And if it doesn't, then you might have something. What I don't understand is back in the day, like grandma and grandpa probably had separate beds. Like, you know, like really olden day setups, there was always two single beds in one room.
Yeah.
When did the beds come together? Like when did all of a sudden queen beds become a thing and two single beds didn't? Like I would not want to sleep in a single bed, by the way. But they did, and their marriages lasted like 50 years. Like, yes, woman suppression and all the things. But there must have been something about sleeping separate as well. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. They knew it. And now there's king beds. So if Sam and I sleep in the same bed, it's got to be a king bed. So we just like two singles.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Because I wake up and I'm diagonal. But then
Really?
if I sleep with someone, I'm still the same. Like I'm straight. So even my subconscious might be aware of someone in my bed. But when I'm sleeping by myself, I'm waking up diagonal. My head's like wherever it is.
You have the best bed hair. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been traveling in my sleep.
So you were saying that you and Sam kind of met when you guys weren't spiritual. You
Correct.
hadn't really opened your mind, and you started your conscious journey together. Mm-hmm. You also told me earlier that you and Sam moved in 3 months after knowing each other, which is, and then you were kind of together every day since then. At what stage did you realize that you were codependent, and what was the major red flags for you?
To be honest, I mean, throughout that time, I always still did things by myself with my own friends, but I would always invite him. But Sam would either say yes or no. The first time I thought I was codependent was when I got upset that he wanted to sleep in a different bed.
And
I didn't know.
How many years was that into your
4 years.
4 years into your relationship?
Yeah. Not even realizing, because I still went out by myself. So I saw myself as independent because this is what I want to do. And I actually didn't want to go out with him. I wanted to go out with my girlfriends. And so in my mind, I was independent in some areas. But then as soon as I wanted cuddles, or as soon as I wanted to go to bed and he didn't want to, that's when I realized as soon as it wasn't what I wanted, that's one of the alarm bells.
He was like, what? You're not a people pleaser anymore? What the fuck happened? Where did you get all this confidence all of a sudden?
And I remember we had this disagreement. It was a fight, actually, when we first moved in together. I think we were living together for 6 months, and we owned together 9 months. And he was like, maybe I should go move into my own house. And I was like, no way, that's going backwards. You moved in now. Like, I was so adamant with the relationship growth pattern of what it should be. Like, now that we've lived together, we can't not live together, because that means our relationship's falling apart. That means that it didn't work. And if it didn't work now, it won't work later on.
Right.
And especially at the beginning of a relationship, everything comes to the surface. So I was literally a good girl. And if you can't see my hands, I'm doing the bunny ears, because I was wearing this mask of people pleaser, the good girl mask, and I had all this suppressed rage. And so as soon as Sam came into the picture, we had this fight that went in loop, right? And so suppressed rage can be condescending tone, talking down to one another, snappy behaviour, but it's not yelling.
Passive
Passive-aggressive, yeah. So I would be in a mood and I would talk down to him, and he'd be like, don't speak to me in that tone, but yelling. And I'll be like, whoa, I just got yelled at and I did nothing wrong. So I didn't even see my part in it. I didn't see I had suppressed rage, because I went into the victim mentality straight away. Like, you're yelling at me. I'm playing the blame game. And we literally had that fight until, I reckon it was a good 2 years on repeat, like until we took responsibility for our emotions, until we took responsibility for the life we live, until we saw each other as a mirror reflection, because at this stage we're still just the blame game. Like, we dabbled in like energetic realm, we dabbled in mental reprogramming, but we actually didn't do the deep work. The deep work is taking responsibility for everything that shows up in your life, taking responsibility for your emotions, and knowing that everything is a reflection of your internal world. And as soon as we saw that, then we could go and feel our emotions and come back and have a truthful conversation and actually get to the root cause of what's going on for you. Like, how are you feeling? Like, let's unpack this, not taking it personally. And it was such a big realization when I didn't have a trigger of rage anymore. I think it was after my second Vipassana. And I could feel...
And what's a Vipassana for people?
Vipassana is a 10-day silent retreat where you're not allowed to talk, and you're meditating for anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a day. And so you find real true peace within, right?
What was your reason for wanting to do that?
I just quit being a drug addict for 7 years. And so I was a crystal meth drug addict in the closet. I was very good at hiding it, well, I thought. And yeah, so I just came clean to Sam because I was even lying to Sam. And I just got rid of all my friends. And I was literally starting fresh. And I realized I was running away from anything, because when you're a drug addict, you're numbing out, you're avoiding something, and my trauma response was to run away. So I was literally running away from my deep feelings, and crystal meth closes off your heart. I was so much in my mind. I was over-analyzing, overthinking, worrying, doubting, and not knowing how to feel. I really didn't know how to open my heart to love, and not realizing I was so in denial to myself, right? I like, even our conversations, I used to say I only do it like once every 2 weeks or once a month, and that was my justification that it's okay because I'm not an everyday user. But after that certain amount of time, I'd still have that hook, that claw to reward myself. I would go get high. And so when I decided that this wasn't serving me and I desire a better life for myself and I know that I'm here for so much more, it was literally a decision, just a decision that I'm done. I came home from the last time of getting high. I actually painted a snowflake which represented the truth frequency. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the only lie that I have. And so the truth frequency really penetrated me to speak the truth, told Sam, broke up with my best friends, then 3 months later went to Vipassana. And actually, when I was at Vipassana, I got the download to share it online. So as soon as I got home, I shared it online that I used to be a drug addict. And I was just met with so much support. And it was just like a weight lifted off my shoulders. It was like, okay, truth frequency is what I'm all about. I will never have another lie. And I'm an open book online. Like literally there's nothing to hide, nothing to prove, nothing to fix. I love all parts of myself, and that includes the shadow aspects, and that includes all parts of who I used to be, who I am now, and who I get to become.
Wow. Yeah, so that was a big turning point for you.
Oh yeah. So I had that initiation because my soul was requiring silence and stillness. And so anytime my soul desires something, I take action and I do it. I really don't like complaining. And so when I'm around people that like say complain or whatnot, I will come up with a problem solving and I'll be like, well, go do something about it. And now I realize that, so for example, in a relationship, if you want the problem to be solved, come to me. I'm not someone who you can purge over. I'm not someone who you can repeat the same instance. And I used to be that for my friends, and I used to be the listener and giving advice. But then I realized I was so invested in what they decided. It was actually putting a detriment to my own energy because I was getting annoyed and frustrating at the decisions that they were making, but realizing it's everyone's own journey. And so it was my own boundaries to say, I'm actually not available for this conversation.
Wow.
If you want transformation, then I am here to help you overcome it, but I'm not here for you to purge on me.
Yeah. No more venting.
No more venting.
Yeah. Solution orientated
Yeah.
only.
Literally, do something about it or F off.
Yeah. I think that's good though, because so many people get a coach or someone to work with and they aren't looking to be healed. They're just looking to like vent and cycle their victim mentality. So,
and that's a conversation I have with all my clients is I only work with people in responsibility, because you actually can't help anyone in victim mentality because they're not wanting to help themselves.
Yeah.
And no one can help you besides yourself. So if you're not willing to do the deep work, then there's no point.
And so when did you start to really like own your like mad responsibility, mad accountability? When was it something that you learnt, or was that just like a realization that you and Sam had simultaneously?
Yeah. So because all my teachers, they taught me something specific, right? But not the whole picture. So I went to someone for breath work, which I will to give me emotional release. I went to someone that was like subconscious reprogramming. I went for someone for divine femininity, which is womb massage. And so like they all had their pieces, but no one taught me how to live besides the sessions. And it actually, so it's that
No
creates
integration.
codependency.
Codependency in
Yeah,
them.
because
So many coaches do that.
literally, because you can only show up in that space with them. So you think that you need them for your transformation, and it's not empowering. So I was like, how do I show up for myself every single day? And this is what I teach, how to live life as a ceremony, your morning rituals, your evening rituals, how to feel into your body of what you're going through in that moment, because every day is completely different. How to live with your cycles, knowing when to rest, knowing when it's go time, and not feeling guilty at any part of your cycle as well. And so, yeah, when I realized that I was seeking outside of myself for external validation to be seen, so by a coach to be like praised upon almost.
Teacher's pet.
Yeah. Literally.
I know all the answers. Oh my God, I'm doing it so well.
Like, I can do it.
Love me.
Yeah, I can do it. I'll go deep. Tell me what I need to do. And it wasn't until I showed up for myself behind closed doors with no one watching, that's when the true transformation occurs.
That's so true, because a lot of people will like, I'm doing all of this, but then behind closed doors, they're a fucking slob, or they're not showing up for themselves at all.
Yeah.
Which I feel like the integration part for a lot of people is just not really taught enough.
And it's the most important part.
It's the most important part.
And that's the thing, like going on a journey, that's why it makes it unique, because I could see the missing gap. I was like, this is what I needed back when I started my journey. I need someone to teach me the whole entire picture, which includes health, which is the vitality. So I always include fasting within my mentorships, because it's a great way. Like, food is a suppressant. It's a part of addiction. So when we take away food, it allows emotions to come up. We're cleansing the body, and it's a part of the rebirth. So it's like that stepping into that new version of self and letting go of any tethers that were holding you back. And so again, at the first couple of months, we're doing the purge. We're letting go of limiting beliefs, because our belief systems create both our internal and external environment. Whatever you believe to be true is the truth. So what are you choosing to believe? Literally, we create our realities. So when we get clear on what programming you have in your brain, we can create new neurological pathways that help you reach your highest potential, because your mind is a tool. And when we learn how to use our mind to its best capabilities, then it's like it can come on the journey with us, right? And so letting go of those negative thought patterns and brainwashing yourself with positive thought patterns and actually believing it to be true.
Yeah.
Once we got our mind on the journey with us, because our mind needs to be number one, right? That creates the motivation to want to open up your heart, and that can be the emotional release, feeling the rage, the fear, the grief, the shame, and alchemizing that within the body. And it's actually like, we're emotional beings, and fear is something that we need to make friends with, because without fear, we don't know courage. So it gives us the opportunity to raise our frequency to courage, because every time we step outside our comfort zone, we'll be met with fear. So it's like, how can I come to the edge, feel my fear, and take action anyway? Because it's during the action is where you grow. It's during the action where you get to become this new version of self. And that's when the fear will alchemize, and will replace it with courage, or with joy, or with love, or with peace, by taking action.
I love that. And so you moved to Bali, going back to you and Sam. You had separate rooms, and like, tell me what that created in your relationship.
Creativity.
Yeah.
So when you've got the lightning, when you've got that life force energy, you've got to take action straight away. So it's about having that space that you can just go into your own space, not be distracted, not be disturbed, and have that energy flow through you. So for us, we're both coaches, so content creation is a big part of what we do. So it was allowing that space of putting up the camera and then channeling and doing in creative flow, literally. So, and it's all about life force energy. It's all about creativity. And if you're blocking off your creativity, you're blocking off your vitality. You're blocking off your connection to God, and you're actually suppressing all parts of yourself. So that's what opened up for us. And when you connected to the creativity, then you're connected to your sexual energy, you're created to that other life force energy, which also opened up to more love appointments. So we would usually schedule in time to make love, usually because we have the time freedom, and I like during the day is more beneficial because we love our morning and evening times doing our own rituals. So yeah, having the time to block out an hour or two to open up space, because I really do see love making as another healing journey as well, because there's usually an emotional release there, and then it's sex magic, so we're calling in our intentions. And Sam has been amazing at holding space for me during love making, because there has been a lot of trauma within my body. And I remember the first time where it was more of a ritualistic space, I actually accessed rage, and Sam just held me and I just screamed, and then underneath the rage there was grief. And then after that process, it was like my yoni just opened up so much more juicy and wet and like more space, and then the pleasure could come. And like kudos, thank you so much to Sam to be able to hold space for that, because a lot of men would get freaked out, you know, to hold that emotion. But knowing that women, we've all been sexually abused one way or another, or if they haven't personally, then it's within our lineage, because we hold at least 16 generations of cellular memory within our body. So it's literally the cycle stops with us, and we actually have to let go of the trauma and receive the wisdom.
Wow, that's so potent. And so in 2020, that was when you had 2 months of space, because you came and helped me give birth, which is amazing. Tell me about, I mean, I can think about what we did in that time, a lot of creativity again. What else happened for you in that 2 months apart?
That's actually when I activated my own morning practice, because remember, I was waking up at sunrise and I was going for long walks along the beach, and I realized I love spending time with myself, and I wasn't prioritizing time by myself. Like living with someone, you've got to make that, especially if you work from home, because you're not leaving the house to go to a job or to go to a specific space. That means you have to prioritize your own time and space apart, you know? And so I was going for long walks on the beach, and that's when I would get my insights, because I was grounding with the earth, I was in my own frequency, I was doing breath work in the morning, and that's actually what started my morning ritual, because I had the time and space for myself, and then when I went home, I prioritized that.
And a lot of people, when they have time away, they do their own thing, but when they come back, they're back to being in partnership again and just following each other around. And yeah, it's for me personally, having a kid, like I feel like I've been on my daughter's time for like the last 4 years, and it's only recently that I'm like, oh my God, I really do need that space to myself. So if you're a parent, like you also need space from your children as well, as hard as it might be. Because like I know for me, she's in the cutest stage of her life, and
She's so cute.
I don't want to spend time away, but when I'm with her every day, I feel the grate on our relationship. And so she goes spend some time with her biological dad. She comes back, and we're like two peas in a pod again. I was just like, everyone needs their own space. Like everyone does need their own space, whether it's a partnership or a friendship even, or like family. Like everyone does need their alone time. And there's so much benefit to that as well.
So much benefit.
So the first time you had space, you were like, oh my God, I've finally got a morning ritual. You took that back, you integrated it. And then you guys spent basically 2 years together.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
So what happened with your need for space?
To be honest, a lot of it came down to finances, you know, and that's actually why we moved in together at the beginning. It just made sense logically. It was a logical decision at the very beginning of our relationship to move in, because his lease ran out, he couldn't find a place, so it was just going to be a transition. But then because he was already living, we're like, well, why not make it a thing? And then so during those 2 years, like we didn't go on separate holidays, whatnot, but I did go to Vipassana, and I had my 10 days twice, you know. And anytime I was craving space, I definitely took action and did it. And then Sam went to England for 4 weeks, and that was actually my first time living alone for any time, actually. First time ever. And it was during Lionsgate Portal, and the fear of being alone came to the surface for me. So I actually had a fear of my space being invaded, because in this new home, I never locked the door. And then all of a sudden, Sam went away. I was locking the doors. And so it was coming to the surface that I had a fear of being alone, which came to the surface of there was a fear of my space being invaded or being attacked, right? When I was sleeping more so, because when I'm sleeping, I didn't feel like I could protect myself. So that was really beautiful, because we don't know what's in the subconscious, in our psyche, until we are given these opportunities to transmute them. And so I was able to move through that. And the first week was the hardest. And then after that first week, I loved it. You know, I loved the space, and just sometimes not having to be aware of who's in the house, right? Because when you're by yourself, you can literally do whatever you like. Loud music, not have to worry if someone's got a client or if they're having a nap, or all these things. Like, you literally have the house to yourself with no one else in mind. Like, you don't have to care about anyone besides yourself.
No consideration.
Yeah. And some people say, you know, it's selfish or whatnot, but it's not selfish. It's actually self-care. And so, yes, when you're in a space of other people, you do have to be aware, because there's a lot of energies that you are compromising. And one thing that me and Sam had a conversation is, we don't need to compromise. We value freedom so much that's why we're apart now, because Sam's soul was crying out for space. And, you know, he's been crying out for space for quite some time.
Yeah, since 2021 that I remember. Maybe 2020.
But he's never taken action upon that. And that's probably from his own insecurities or fears or whatever. There was something blocking him from taking that action, because he actually felt obliged, so as another people pleaser, to please me in some sort. He was afraid of losing the relationship for desiring space by himself.
Wow.
So there was another tether that was stopping him from taking action of his own desires, from fear of what it would do to me, right? And so after having this deep conversation in England and, you know, unpacking it all of what the truth was, me just reassuring him that he can do whatever he needs. He can do whatever he pleases. And whatever comes up for me is whatever I get to work through, you know, because it's taking responsibility for yourself and not having to worry about what anyone else is going through. It's just like, we really do get to make ourselves our number one priority. And that just opens up more doors. Like, I'm here with you, with my sister, and I love living in Queensland. Like, I didn't know where I was going to move to next, you know? And so when we follow our soul's calling, when we listen to the whispers, that's when you're in alignment, and that's when all the doors just flow and the synchronicities just align.
I'm hearing you, and then also there's been moments in parenting where I just want to like run away, but you can't run away.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what's the difference between wanting to escape and following that your soul's whisper? Like, how can you distinguish the difference?
So I don't have kids, so I can't really speak from that. But however, I mean, over the last week, I've been able to be there with Kalia in the mornings, and so she'll come into my bed and we'll have morning time together.
Auntie Judy.
Yeah, Auntie Yani in full swing. And, you know, I've absolutely loved it. And then knowing that there should be time for either throughout the day or like after a week, like you said, to have the change in roles. And so, you know, that's where it comes in conscious parenting as well, to have it spread. Like, it needs a community, and it needs the aunties, the uncles, the grandparents. It needs community, and it needs a tribe. And the truth is, we are going back that way because we're not meant to do it alone. And a child actually needs teachings from multiple avenues because there is no one way. And just to have more compassion to the parents out there, because it is a 24/7 job. You know, you have to show up. Even when you don't want to, you need it, you know? And so for me, I feel like when we step into the parent role, you really need to be ready to make sacrifices, because you will go through a stage of making sacrifices towards what you desire. And what you desire is to be a parent, right? What you desire is to have a child. So there is a stage where you make sacrifices for, I'm not too sure how long, you know.
7 years.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
You know, but it is just a season, and we have to understand that there are seasons in life, and there are seasons where family will be the number one priority, because we have the wheel of life where you've got family, you got friendships, community, finances, what else is there? Health, you know, all these aspects that make your life. And the ultimate goal is to be 10 out of 10, you know, but the truth is we're not there. And there will be aspects where one will be like thriving, and then the other one might not be thriving at that time. And we're on that journey to make them all thriving. However, there will be times where you'll be focused and devoted on one aspect until there's like a completion, you know, and then you have the capacity to open up to more, and we get to hold it all. We really do get to have it all. I really do believe that, but it's about finding your own unique journey and expanding your capacity to receive that infinite amount of love, to be in that present moment, because all we have is now, and just receive the opportunities that are currently in your reality.
And you can get that all from having a bit of space.
Yes, you can.
The truth is definitely in the stillness.
And we're always supported,
We
like,
are.
you know, by God, divine source, by whoever you're connected to. And the most important thing is that we're connected to higher aspects. Like, it's not just in this physical reality. Call upon your higher self, your soul, you know, your guides, your angels, your galactic light beings, like whatever is your flavor. Call upon them, because then you can connect into that support network, because I know a lot of people feel unsupported, and that's why, you know, to expand your capacity to hold more, to receive more, to give more, feel the support in the etheric realms.
Yeah, and you have to like believe that you're supported.
Yes.
You really do. When I didn't believe I was supported, my life was in shambles. And as soon as I like really, it dropped in that I was like, I am so fucking supported. Like I might be the mother to everyone that I can see. And I am my friend used to say to me, she's like, when do you get to be the little spoon? And I really felt into that. And I actually had some DMT one time and had a meditation. And I was literally held so tightly by like all of the beings that I couldn't see, that are always there supporting the fuck out of me. And they're like, you are always the little spoon, but you have signed up for being the divine mother, like the Hathor archetype, like the mother of all, basically. And I was like, yeah, I have signed up for that. Like, that is what I'm integrating. That's what I'm stepping into. So I was like, fuck, I don't need to be the little spoon in the third dimension, because I am fucking the littlest spoon in all of the other realms. Like, and I'm so supported. I'm like, I'm the baby. And they're like, come on, you can do it. It's like, come on, stop being so silly now. Or like, you are so fucking loved. What are you talking about? Yeah. And it's just like, it just really opened my eyes and made me truly believe that I am so divinely supported, like so divinely supported. And again, that moment wouldn't have happened if I wasn't in my own space. Like, my daughter was napping and I saw the opportunity. I like had a little nudge and was like, okay, you need to meditate with DMT right now. And I did. And I was like, wow, it was so much healing in that, like so much healing in that, because before that moment, I didn't want to hold my partner as the divine mother. Like, I don't want to be your mother. And I realized that was coming from a place that was coming from a place of social conditioning, that you shouldn't mother your partner. And while, of course, there is a whole lot of truth to that, the divine mother archetype is compassion. It's pure compassion. So whatever your partner is going through, if they're in your little boy, you can be so compassionate and be in your divine mother. It doesn't mean I'm mothering them. It's actually just holding space for them to feel and like maybe do some inner child healing rather than being like, I don't want to mother you, which is what I did in the past. And I'm so sorry. I love you so much. But yeah, stepping into that divine mother archetype and not being like so controlled by societal pressure of like what the dynamic should be and shouldn't be in a partnership.
Yeah.
I was like, there's just so much to unlearn and unpack. And spaciousness has definitely been a tool to even finding some of those truths.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what sacred union really is. It's about finding your own rules and like what it is that you truly desire and knowing that it can change as you change. We are evolving. And so it's about having these truthful conversations and meeting each other where we're at and what we desire, what we need, and not taking things personally, being able to hold space for one another's like triggers to come to the surface, because the first 4 years in Sam and I's relationship was literally just that, like holding space for all our woundings, all our inner child traumas, you know, and being able to reparent ourselves through ourselves, like our feminine and masculine energies, and to know that we got ourselves instead of, you know, needing the mother and the father archetype as well, because we are all just brothers and sisters of God doing our best, you know, and we've all chosen each other because that we're soul family to help us on this journey. And so as soon as we have that compassion that we're all just doing our best, there is no rule book. We're here to learn the lessons and to grow and evolve, and the choice is that we choose each other. We continue to lean in and choose each other and want to go on this journey together to hold space for one another, but also grow together, because we can see their shining light. We see the soul essence, and it's an inner knowing. It's this connection that it just flows with the ups and downs. Like flowing isn't a straight line. It has ups and downs. It has challenges.
Yeah, like a river. A river doesn't go like this. It's like wow.
Literally,
and then you got the rapids, and then you got the waterfalls. Oh gosh, and we're always expecting a relationship to be like smooth sailing. I was like, even when you sail, like
there's wind and there's waves.
Like, in the past, my partner is just, I just want smooth sailing. And then I've been sailing a bit in the last year, and I'm like, I just don't know where that concept comes from, because it's very rare to have smooth sailing.
You need wind for the sail to even.
And I was like, there's very fine conditions for it to be like smooth sailing. Yeah. If there's not enough wind, you're going like this.
Maybe it's a sarcastic saying then, like smooth sailing, because it hardly ever exists.
It hardly ever exists. It's just like 1%. And I was just like, wow, that is so unrealistic. It's so unrealistic. It's like, I just like the term like be like water. And, you know, you're just highly adaptable to whatever it is that you're moving through. And we are water, so that makes sense.
Literally. Yeah. Yeah, and then we get to overcome challenges with more ease and play and grace, you know. We find the joy in learning the lesson, because then we're like, oh, yay, next level.
Yeah. This is a game after all.
It is a game.
Level up, here we go. Yeah.
Life is a playground, you know.
It's so true.
You either go kicking and screaming or skipping and laughing.
Yeah. And it's the best. It is the best when you find a partner that is willing to lean in and say yes and keep choosing you.
Yes.
Like, I've lost my shit numerous of times, and like I surprise myself when my partner is still like, I'm still in here, I'm still here. And I was like, holy shit, you're still here. And I, like, that constant choice has been everything for me. And we're not even up to our 4 years yet. I think the first 5 years, you're still really getting to know each other. You guys have been together 8 years now.
Yeah, 8.5.
So it really is
a quarter of my life.
It really is a choice.
Yes.
Like, it's like you are constantly choosing every year, all the challenges. Like, you're like, are we still choosing this? Like, you've been together 8 years. You guys aren't married. You don't have children.
Nope.
Like, it is such a huge choice.
Yeah.
When there's like a world of people out there coming from someone that's polyamorous. I'm like, there's a world of people out there. How can you not taste at least a few of them? Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I feel that we keep leaning in and we keep choosing, because it gets better and better every time we choose each other again and again, because in the getting to know each other's bodies, for example, and knowing what we like or we don't like, what the energetic orgasm as well as the penetrative, and to hold space for our triggers, but we also know each other, how we tick as well, like literally the ins and the outs, and how to pull each other out of a cycle or to have a truthful conversation and be able to speak our truths. You know, if we want to bring something to the table, we always ask for permission. And if that person's not available, like sometimes Sam will be like, hey, can I speak to you at the moment? I'll be like, oh, no, not today, but tomorrow. Or like, I'll say, like, oh, not right now. Let me just like get ready to receive, because my trauma response is running away, you know? So I'm like, oh, okay, I have to get ready to receive and receive feedback right now. Okay. I take a few deep breaths, ground in, and not and get the defensive, because also I'm a fighter as well. So like I have to not get on the defensive, ground in and receive. And sometimes it's actually just listening, that Sam was going through his own things, but I don't know what the conversation is going to be about. So I sometimes always assume it's about me. And then actually
Sometimes always assume. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I actually do. I always think it's something
You've done wrong.
Yeah, I've done wrong, or I'm in trouble. So that's why I have to get myself ready. But then sometimes it's just Sam going through his own process, and I just need to listen as well, like not actually chime in. It's just like listening, and through the act of speaking, he's actually coming to his own understandings. And so we just need to be witness in our vulnerability in the process to come to our own conclusion.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And gosh, you guys are literally on the path of growth. Like over the last 8 years, you guys being together, I'm just like, it's phenomenal, the transformation, and it's so tangible as well. I really loved watching it, and now you've made it your whole life's work, which is super fucking exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
And, you know, I do see a time where Sam and I will go into work together again as like relationship coaches. But I feel like because we're first the embodiment of the process, and then there's another thing to teach how we do, right? And so that's just the next thing that I feel like we'll be evolving into.
Well, maybe this 3 months of space will learn something. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much for just shedding your light and sharing it with us. It's been a wonderful conversation, and I look forward to having you on sometime.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
always so fun.
Until then, see you later.
Au revoir.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe. And if you're ready to deepen your connection with the wild, the raw, and the untamed, explore the power of Blue Lotus with Blue Lotus Effect, awakening the mind, body, and spirit. Until next time, stay wild.